Another feature that I really like about Desmos is that you can control the pacing. So if you are doing this activity live, you can restrict students to a specific screen, and they can all be on that one screen together, and they cannot move on until you move them there. And so this is kind of like Nearpod, where they're restricted to one screen at a time. But one of the cool things is with Desmos is you can actually restrict that to a certain number of screens. So let's say you wanted them to work independently, or they needed to make reference back to some previous screens. You can expand which screens that they have access to, that they can move freely about in. So instead of being only one screen at a time, you can have multiple screens at a time that you can then present or change that for them, and keep them there. And so this was really helpful on Zoom, because then I could push them to a specific screen. And then if I wanted to, if I was like, oh, for time, I need to go ahead and skip to slide number 7, then I want to, then we're on screen 2 right now, but we need to move to screen 7. I can restrict to screen 7, and it pushes everyone to that screen. So if they were on screen 2 or 3, it would bump, 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 bump all of them up here. They'd just jump straight from 3 to 7, and then they would be right there on that screen with me, and I don't have to keep saying, oh, we're on screen 7, we're on screen 7, move to screen 7, move to screen 7. It's done for me. And then it also tells me who is off task, because if their little card with their name on it stays on screen 3 when everyone else has been moved to screen 7, they are not on their Desmos tab. They are in a different tab or a different window. If they click back into their Desmos tab, it will move them immediately to screen 7. So being a Zoom teacher for an online school, that was also super helpful, because I could use that as an opportunity to correct or invite the student back to participate. So please click on your Desmos tab so that you can join us in our activity, and then I can see if they're responding or not, because otherwise I can't see the whole classroom at one time. But this is one way that I can see what's going on. So that pacing option is super cool. If you change screens, but you don't move the students, they can't see your new screen. And that, I will admit, is something that I would do every once in a while. Okay, on the next screen, the instructions say, and they're like, we can't see the next screen. And that's because I have the pacing on. So if you're using it, make sure that you're aware of any changes that you make to where you're navigating in the screens. You have to move them, this orange box, to those as well. So again, you can have more than one screen open where they can move back and forth between those screens, or you can have them restricted to exactly one screen.